City wants. Ouch, I just dropped my phone on my foot. What is up? Welcome back to another video. After the last video, it seems like you absolutely loved my chat on the things I am doing over the next 10 weeks to get lean for Atlantic City WBFF. Since then, time has been flying by and it is currently just 7 weeks from when we fly to New York City, which means 8 weeks until show day. I am so excited, and this video is going to be about how my prep is going, what my training, cardio, nutrition is looking like, but also I want to have a big chit chat, all things progress. How to measure your progress, why the scales are not something to get upset over, what my weight has been doing over the past few weeks since I started my shred, and so much more. As always, I hope that this video helps you. I hope that you enjoy it, and as always, if you do, please remember to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and let's get into my chit chat. Let's start off with what my training looks like. So I'm currently still doing 5 weighted sessions a week, 3 lower body, 2 upper body. In terms of my cardio, my steps have not increased. I'm still aiming to hit 10,000 steps. And I also just got my new Samsung Watch 5, so I've been tracking my steps on that as well as my workouts. And then when it comes to cardio, I'm doing 4 15-minute list bike rides, and then I'll usually jump on the steps to start my day off right and try and get a good chunk of my steps earlier in the day. I usually do not share my calories or my macro information because it's personalized to me and my very specific goal of getting on stage on December 3rd in Atlantic City. When it comes to calculating your calories, many factors go into play, such as your height, your weight, your age, your lifestyle, your dieting history, your goals, the type of training that you're doing, and so many other factors. This is why it is super important to get a plan that is personalized to you. If you are struggling to achieve your goals, or you don't know how much to eat or what to eat, or how to train, please head along to fitwithanjuli.com. Sign up today. I'll send you an email about your goals and we can get started working together. This will enable us to have fortnightly check-ins, monthly group coaching calls, and to ensure that you are progressing in the right direction. If you're someone that is currently following a plan that you saw someone on Instagram following, or maybe you just Googled and found a plan to help you lose weight quick, this is not going to be optimal for your well-being or getting results. So once again, head along to fitwithanjuli.com. Let me help you so that we can slay this year and go into 2023 feeling absolutely amazing. Let's get into my calories because I know a lot of people want to know how much I'm eating. When I was at about 23 weeks out, I was at about 63 kilos. We increased my calories. I put on some weight. I was at about 2,600 calories, and then the calories kept coming down. Now at exactly 8 weeks out from comp, my calories were lowered from 1,810 to 1,645. This is obviously 1,000 calories less than I was consuming at 22 to 23 weeks out when I was on 2,500, 2,600 calories. Focusing on high volume whole foods, but also not afraid to include some, sweeter treats that I've been sharing all across Instagram and TikTok recently. I've been loving getting experimental with high protein, lower calorie recipes, especially cheesecake. It's my newest obsession. 1645 calories, 140 grams of protein, and I aim to hit about 30 grams of fiber each day. This is something I really want to focus on because it helps me with digestion as well as those feelings of satiation. So in a shred, we always want to make sure that we are feeling nice and satiated as well as one can, to make it easier. So I do that by focusing on whole foods, making sure I'm getting enough protein and making sure I'm getting in enough fiber. Just remember that every coach, every individual has different approaches to things, but at the end of the day, there's going to be key things which will guarantee you the results that just cannot be eliminated. And that's going to be your patience, your consistency, your work effort, as well as regular check-ins with your coach to make sure that you are on the right track. Stay accountable to yourself, stay accountable to your coach, and be consistent and trust in that process. The results will come with that magical C word, consistency. Okay, let's talk about tracking progress and weight. So I've spoken a little bit about how you can best track your progress. Everyone is going to be different when it comes to how they like to track progress. I personally believe that progress photos are an incredible way for anyone to track their progress, and there are key things you need to do when taking progress photos. First of all, Don't try and take selfies in a mirror. Set your phone up on a self timer on the kitchen bench or in the bathroom. You don't have to ask anyone else to take photos of you. Set up your phone. Make sure it's first thing in the morning on an empty stomach. We don't want to be taking progress photos at the end of the day. Everyone after a full day of eating and drinking is going to look different to the way that they did first thing in the morning. Make sure that you have good lighting. It's no point taking photos if you can't actually see yourself properly. Wear the same outfit. Again, it's no point taking these photos if one week you're wearing high-waisted leggings with a sports bra and the next week you're wearing a bikini. Try and either stick to the same bikini each time, or the same shorts and sports bra, or the same tights and sports bra. But again, the more skin you can see, the more progress you're going to see over time. I personally like to take photos in a bikini. You don't have to share these photos with anyone, but if you are going to, take time to take progress photos, make sure you actually do them first thing in the morning in the same outfit, same lighting, and be very consistent with it, either once a fortnight or once a month, and put them side by side using a free app like Layout so that you can actually compare your progress from, month to month. Another way that you can track progress is through taking measurements. Key places to take measurements are around your chest, around your bicep, mid-bicep, around your thigh. So mid-thigh, you could do both sides, you could choose to do one side. Around your belly button, around your hips, around your glutes. To be honest, you can measure once a fortnight or you can measure once a month when you take your progress photos. Usually I'll get Ross to help me with my measurements. I do find having someone else do that for you is often easier. Another form of data you can use to track your progress is, of course, the scales. Now, for some people, the scales are something that really creates a lot of anxiety, and stepping on the scales is not going to be a good idea for you. For others, they can separate it from being an emotional thing to just data. I personally see the scales as just data. However, that doesn't mean from time to time the scales won't play on my mind. So this is where the main area of my chit chat is going to be about. I want to talk you through how my weight has been since I started my shred in August, and I also want to talk about the different ways in which you can use the scales to measure your progress. I actually have a few screenshots from my fitness tracker on my phone. Okay, so essentially I started my shred back in August, as I mentioned. This is when I was sitting at about 64.8 kilos on the 19th of August. From there, my weight kind of fluctuated. So at first I wasn't weighing myself every single day. I was just kind of weighing myself when I felt like it. So the averages obviously are a little bit different to what they are now when I'm weighing myself more often, just to get that average over the weeks. I wanted to talk about weight for a few different reasons. One, a lot of people will weigh themselves, and then if they have a check-in like a week or two later, they'll weigh themselves again and they might see that their weight is the exact same that it was a week or two ago. And that is instantly going to spiral them out of control into thinking, oh my gosh, I've wasted 2 weeks, I haven't gotten any results. But in reality, weight can fluctuate for so many different reasons. Did you have a big meal the night before? Did you go to the bathroom in the morning? Did you have more sodium or more carbs the day before, so you're holding more water? Did you have a bad sleep last night? There are many reasons in which the scales might be the same as what they were 2 weeks ago. And if you're nailing your steps, your water, your sleep, your nutrition, your training, all these things, the scales are not going to show you that. They're only going to show you just a number at that point in time for what you weigh, which doesn't mean that you haven't progressed over the past 2 weeks. Looking at where I was on the 26th of August, I was 63.7 kilos. A couple of days later, I was exactly the same weight. My weight didn't go down, it didn't go up. Again, another few days later. So this is going from the 26th of August to the 9th of September. I am the exact same weight. So of course, I'd probably by now be thinking, right, it's not working. I need to slash my calories. I need to do more steps. I need to do more cardio. Or I go off the rails and completely just eat whatever I want, let it emotionally affect me and gain any weight that I had already lost and more. A couple of days later, still being consistent, the 11th of September, would you look at that, my weight's dropped 600 grams. This is because I didn't let the scales get to me. I stayed consistent with my nutrition, my steps, my training, and my weight came down. Your weight will come down eventually if you are consistent. Not always, and it doesn't even matter if your progress photos are showing that you're progressing. If you're brand new and you're building muscle and losing fat, well, who cares what the scales show? If your clothes fit better, you have more energy, you're feeling better, you're getting stronger in the gym. There are so many other ways to measure your progress, like those non-scale victories, as opposed to just using the scales. But I really wanted to share my scale journey since August, step by step with you, so you can understand and see the trend coming down over time with consistency. We have gone from staying the exact same weight from the 26th of August for a couple of weeks, and then suddenly my weight has dropped down on the 11th of September. Fast forward a few more days, my weight's not really shifting. Fast forward from the 11th of September to the 25th of September. That is a decent 2 weeks. My weight has now come down to 62.1 kilos. If we were to go back to August and I think, right, I haven't lost weight in a week, I give up on this, I'm just gonna go back to what I was doing before, I wouldn't be down a couple of kilos, right? Because I would have given up. But I don't give up. I stay consistent. 25th of September, I'm down to 62.1. I stay consistent. I lower my calories again to 1800 or so. My weight is slowly coming down over last week. It goes from 62.3 on the Monday through to 61.6 on Sunday. I lower my calories to 1645. I get told to have a focus on my sleep, so making sure that I sleep in at least 3 times a week until 5 a.m. instead of 4:30. Secretly, I am loving these sleep-ins. I would feel lazy, to be honest, to not wake up at 4:30. It's just something that has become such an ingrained habit. But if coach tells you to sleep in, you do what coach says. So I have been loving my sleep-ins. Today I slept until 5:01. A half-hour sleep in, and I actually weighed in at 61.1, a new low. That marks 3.4 kilos since the 22nd of August. My weight came down when I was consistent with everything. What do I mean by everything? Calorie deficit, weight training 5 times a week, steps at 10,000 steps every single day, water intake a minimum of 3 liters, sleeping 7 to 9 hours, and to be honest, it's been more 8 hours every night at a minimum, and sometimes even 9 hours. The other day I slept for over 9 hours. I slept in, it was beautiful. My weight is loving it, my body is loving it. It's super important that we make sure we are getting enough sleep for many different reasons. Our hormones, I'll say this 100 times over, sleep impacts our hormones, ghrelin and leptin, which control our hunger and satiation signals. For me personally, sleep is a non-negotiable. I always prioritize it, and I truly think that you would benefit from doing so too. I understand that a lot of you are new mums out there, and in all honesty, this is just going to be probably not a happening thing for you. So just do your best and be kind to yourself, and know that this isn't going to last forever. From Saturday last week at 61.9, my weight stayed the same all the way through, really. Like, it fluctuated up, it fluctuated down. Wednesday it was 61.9. I had a busy day in Auckland yesterday. I had a nice little half-hour sleep in this morning, and boom, 61.1 kilos, an 800-gram drop from yesterday. Obviously, it could be a fluctuation. To be honest, my weight will probably be back up tomorrow, but I'm not focused on these daily fluctuations. Like I said, our weight is going to fluctuate from day to day. What I'm actually looking at is that weekly average, which you can see coming down. So you'll see that my weight might be 62.3 one day, and then it's 61.9 another day, and then it's higher, and then it's lower. Like today it's lower, tomorrow it's probably going to be higher. And you could get caught up on those individual days, but it doesn't actually matter, because we don't want to get caught up in those individual days. We want to see the overall trend, and this is where weighing in more regularly can help, because then you get an average, not just a one-off number that could be impacted by anything such as eating a big meal the night before or having a terrible sleep. So I'm looking at the average, and over time my average has been perfect on a healthy fat loss range of 0.5 kilo a week. A lot of people expect weight to come off a lot faster than that. They'll start out working with me on the Anjuli Fit Squad, and maybe they lose 1 kilo in a week, and they're like, oh my god, I've only lost 1 kilo this week, or I've only lost 2 kilos this fortnight, or 1 kilo this fortnight. And I'm like, girl, that is right on track. Think about how long it took you to gain the weight, and think about how long it takes you to actually build healthy habits in order to lose that weight again. Yes, it's easier to gain weight than it is to lose weight, but we don't just want to lose weight. We want to lose fat and maintain as much muscle as possible. So stay patient when it comes to your fat loss journey. Don't let the scales upset you if they're fluctuating day to day. There's a few different approaches we can take to the scales. Either one, scrap the scales, don't even use them, focus on progress photos, measurements, and non-scale victories. Two, we could focus on weighing in more regularly. So it might be on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you're going to weigh in so that you just get a better idea of the scales, and then you have 3 data points for your average that week. And if you're fine with doing that, then do it. What I found worked for me to get a better relationship with the scale was to actually weigh in every day, because that enabled me to see like, hey, oh my gosh, my weight can actually fluctuate, 1 pound, 2 pounds, 3 pounds from day to day, and it's just a number. If you're weighing in every day for a good 2 weeks, you're going to see those fluctuations, and you're just going to realize like, oh, it's just a number. And then you look at the average for each week. So what if my weight's up? So what if my weight's down? What I care about is the long-term trend. And as you can see from this graph, the trend is definitely coming down over time, and that's what we want. But again, if the scales stress you out, if you feel disheartened when you step on them, if you feel anxious about them and it just stresses you out, forget about it. Focus on the non-scale victories, measuring yourself, and then taking those progress photos every 2 weeks and putting them side by side. You don't notice all the small changes when you look in the mirror every single day, but I guarantee you, if you're consistent with all your key habits and you take progress photos regularly, eventually in a year's time, you're gonna look back and you're gonna be so damn proud that you never gave up on yourself. If you take anything away from this video, please let it be that you are not defined by a number on the scale. We all have unique journeys, and comparing yourself to me or anyone else on the Anjuli Fit Squad or on social media would be absolutely ridiculous. Like I've always said, comparison is the thief of all joy. Focus on you versus you. Just think of it this way. If I had quit back in August, I wouldn't be 8 weeks out from WBFF in Atlantic City right now. Do not quit on yourself, and do not quit on the goals that you've set for yourself this year. You can actually end this year better than you started, as long as you stop making excuses for yourself, you stay accountable, and you focus on nailing the things that matter and controlling the controllables, because you can't control when the scales decrease. You can't control the clothes of the sizes of your clothing and when that's going to decrease. The only things you can control is the actions that you take every single day to get you closer to your goals. You can 110% do this, but you need to recognize what your goals are, get a proper plan in place, and then stay accountable to yourself as well as to a coach. So once again, if you need help achieving your goals this year, you can do it, but you're going to need to be consistent, be patient, and put in work. Sign up at fitwithanjuli.com. I'll send you an email about your goals today, and we'll get started working together so that we can both end this year feeling better than ever. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something, and I'll catch you in the next one.